Nobody in the world is a stranger to what's happening up north right now. We've all seen the footage, and it's awful. The thing to understand, though, is this isn't Haiti. This isn't, a country with very poor infrastructure and very poor quick response times. I think the thing you have to recognize about the Japanese people is that disaster has been sort of part of the historical, cultural, emotional landscape of their lives. There are people who are very acquainted with disasters. Earthquake, fire, tsunami, famine, it's been a regular part of their history. And so, unlike some places where you might have riots and people panicking in the streets, the Japanese as a culture tend to respond quickly with efficiency. The infrastructure is strong, and the people themselves are very disciplined. And so there wasn't panic. Immediately there was a truck that was going around the neighborhood saying, please don't come out, there are power lines down. Immediately people were checking on their neighbors. All of our neighbors came out and made sure everybody was okay. There's a lot of cultural keywords in Japan, and there are words that kind of explain mindsets. And two words in particular that come to mind in this crisis. One is the word gaman. And the word, it implies patience, it implies perseverance, it implies suffering in silence, really. And so there's a value about being strong in difficult circumstances. So there's actually a strong cultural underpinning of we don't panic, we don't freak out, we don't overreact, we strengthen ourselves and we do what needs to be done. Probably another word that I think is really relevant is the word atarimae, which means it's just the way things are. And atarimae kind of applies to people in the culture understand what you're supposed to do. And so those two words combined, it's just atarimae that people would gaman in these situations. You don't freak out, you figure out what needs to be done, and you do it, and you do it in peaceful calm, and you make sure everybody's taken care of. This is serious, and the Japanese know it's serious. There is a palpable sense of fear. Over here, there's a market that when I was there 2 days ago, the lines, the queues were 20 or 30 people long as they were clearing out the shelves. But even that, they were standing quietly in line. Nobody was fighting for things. They were just doing what needed to be done to make sure they were safe if something worse happened. The government has instituted in Tokyo rolling blackouts because of the drastic reduction in power supply right now. But it's really interesting to note that the blackout scheduled for my area was canceled 3 days in a row because the Japanese were so self-governing that it wasn't needed. Because the big need in the long run is going to be helping people's hearts to rebuild after this tremendous tragedy.